No, but I'll tell you what, when World War II comes, my husband came, he was on the USS Ruby,
Okay.
and that ship come in, you know, it had to come in between Caswell and Bullhead Island,
Okay.
and he said, I hope I don't never have to come into here, you know, but it wasn't but a few weeks later, he was stationed over on Caswell,
Oh, okay.
you know.
So that's where when you met him?
Well,
during
I was
the war?
hostess
You were hostess?
at the USO.
Okay, at the Army-Navy USO. Is that where the Masonic Lodge?
That was the first.
Uh-huh.
No, that wasn't the Masonic.
Oh, okay. Where was it?
No, this was the USO,
Mm-hmm.
and I was hostess, and the boys coming in off of the ships
Mm-hmm.
and all were stationed there, Castle.
So now where was the USO?
Right down Southport on the waterfront, where the old Johnson.
Where Fort Johnson?
Yeah.
Johnson is?
Yeah.
At the community center?
Yeah, it's a museum now.
Uh-huh. Oh, uh-huh. Yes.
That was
Garrison.
the USO.
Oh, that was the USO. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And
And you were still living at the yacht basin?
yeah, my mother owned 3 homes. Caswell become a Navy base.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was playing ping pong with one of the boys, and that's where I met my husband, George Gregory. He was from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he sat there and was watching me play ping pong and stuff, and he said he fell in love with my toes, they were so cute. And so anyway, that night I was walking home in Southport. You didn't have to be afraid. I felt somebody following me.
Oh.
And I stopped and turned around, and there was Gregory. His name was George, but all the Navy boys and all at that time called everybody by their last names. And I stopped and I said, what are you doing? Following me. And he said, well, I like you. And I said, well, he wanted to walk home with me. I said, well, if you want to walk home with me, get up here beside me. So that's how I met my husband.
My goodness. Now, how old were you then? Do you remember?
Oh, I wasn't about 16, because I was married at 17.
You were married at 17. Oh, my goodness.
So I met him. But the Castle, they had a Navy base, and I was liking a boy called Hippie.
Hippie?
H-I-P-K-E.
Uh-huh.
He was from Bay City, Michigan.
Uh-huh.
But I probably would have married him if my George hadn't appeared on the scene. You know?
That. So now, during the war, then did your husband go overseas after you got married?
Yeah, after we got married, honey, he volunteered for hazard duty, and he went to training at Hutchinson Island down in Fort Pierce, Florida, and they had 2 islands, and they practiced blowouts, you know, because the frogmen, they had, is that thing up there where the boat is?
Yeah, I'll get it. You tell her.
They had teams of 5, and they had a ship that would pull the team so far offshore, and like my husband would row in a boat and go in under dark, you know. And he was in Okinawa and Iwo Jima.
Wow.
But, you know, when he got out, he'd been in water so much he had his head full of fungus. And he lost his hearing. And he always had a hard time
Hard time hearing.
Right.
Were you worried a lot during the war that something would happen to him, or did you just think he was going to come home safe?
I knew he was going to come home. I just had that feeling. And I talked to the Lord. I said, bring him back to me. There's that thing, my husband, UDT 13.
The frogman, he was his bar on the UDT 13, and a frogman would be the equivalent of a Navy SEAL nowadays.
And that was a beginning of it. Yeah, I wanted to give that to the museum
Yes,
if they wanted it.
yes. Sure.
And I've got a tugboat, the Army. My husband worked at Sunny Point until he retired. And a friend of mine, Gaskell, his name was Gaskell, he was what we call a down-homer. He made me a tugboat. Just
What's
like
a down home?
down-home, Morehead City,
Oh, okay.
people we call down-homers, because they had a different talk, a different speech, you know. And he was one of our best friends.
So what did your husband think of you being you were a deputy and you had a bar and you had two other things?
A dress shop.
Dress shop.
A trailer park.
And a trailer park. What did your husband think about you having all those
My
businesses
husband
and
was
working?
the sweetest. There's three kinds of Yankees. I'm going to tell them to you.
Okay.
One of the Yankees doesn't like me.
Right, because he was a Yankee. He's from
He
Pennsylvania.
was a Yankee from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And anyway, his daddy come from the old country, grandpa. And then I had his mother's parents. One of them was from the old country, they're Bohemians.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, the good Yankee, he comes down on vacations and looks all around and, oh, everything's just great. So he turns around and goes back where he comes from. So then there's another Yankee. That's the damn Yankee. He comes down here and he looks all around and he loves everything. And he can hear no time before he's wanting to change everything. But we didn't do it like we did at home. And so, but I married the third one. You know what the third Yankee was? Galvanized Yankee. They're the ones that come down here and marry a beautiful southern belle.
Oh.
And they lay back, you know, and don't try to change nothing. They make friends, they love everybody. So
you married a good one. A galvanized one.
Without a doubt, he's one. And I would go back to where he was from once a year, and I learned to cook like his mother. And that's how come he loved me better all the time. I fixed him nut rolls, poppy seed rolls, those stuffed chickens with raisins and rice. I tell you what, she taught me a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And I love going.
I bet she liked you too then. You wanted to learn
Yeah,
how to cook like her.
did. And her husband was Greek from overseas. I called him Grandpa. I love that man. He tried to teach me Greek. And the only thing I can remember was coffee. And he called it kata cafe. And he would keep things out and try to teach me Greek. But I couldn't pronounce all right things.
Yeah.
So I tried to make him happy, but I never could remember nothing.